My name is Rebecca, or Return of Reb. You may know me from my Instagram, that's probably why you're on here. And a YouTube channel was not something I ever really saw myself doing. I didn't think I would have the balls, to be honest, or a reason to make a YouTube channel, but then I started getting requests from you guys, and I thought, well, do you know what, why not? So here I am. It started with a little page called Joy for Jan, which is an amazing little page. Their message is great and you should really go check it out. They asked me to do some, tips on how to deal with mental illness, things that I did when I got bad, either, with my anxiety or my depression. And I felt honoured that they asked me to do that. I was really, really flattered. It took me a few days. I told them yes straight away because I thought their message was fantastic and it was for such a good cause. I knew I had to do it, but it took me a few days to find the courage. I found the courage, I did it, and I felt liberated. I didn't care what anyone thought, I was worried about my accent because it's so Irish, or Northern Irish, and I just, I was paranoid about so many things, and once I posted it, it all left. So then I posted it to my own page, and I got a really, really positive response, which I really appreciated. And then I decided to post a video on my story, and then another one, and all the anxieties around it just went away, which felt great. I'm not gonna lie. And so when I started getting the requests and to do the YouTube channel, I caved, because all I want to do is get my message out. With Instagram being what I use most, it seemed like the right idea, but here I might be able to reach a bigger audience, basically to let people know that they're not alone. That's my main thing. I have felt alone for such a long time, and I struggled in silence and didn't tell anyone and had no one to talk to, and I had so much responsibility on my shoulders, and I was ready to crack. And there's so many people out there like that in worse situations, and if one of them saw a video and seen what I had to say, that they're not alone and they can drop me a message, or many of the people in this community a message, and someone will get back to you, I know I will get back to you. That means that I succeeded in that message, and that's the most important thing. Now, there's a few things that I want to say. First of all, my voice doesn't normally sound like this. It's not as deep. Not that there's anything wrong with having a deep voice. Deep voices are normally sexy, just not on me. I am down with the flu and have been for days now. But I already had to put back the date by a week, and I don't want to put it back again. So I don't want to let everyone down. So I hope you appreciate it. Secondly, the quality of this might not be the best because I'm filming it off my iPhone. My camera is not much better, to be honest. Also it might be like a bit choppy in between, pushing different videos together because I am new to this, so I'm going to be learning, so every video will hopefully be a little bit better. But as I said, even though it may not look the best, it's not really about that, it's about the message that I have in the videos, and I hope that's what everyone pays attention to and not the technicality of it, because trust me, it's not going to look pretty. So as I said, the reason that I started Return of Reb, the Instagram, was because I became ill. I developed depression quite young, but finally got help in 2013. That's when I was diagnosed with that. I was diagnosed with an eating disorder maybe a year before that, but obviously ignored it, and I didn't care about the diagnosis. I just wanted to get thinner. That wasn't on my mind at the time, but it came to 2013 and I was ready for help. Went to the doctor, everything was diagnosed, and they put me on antidepressants. At that time, I went to the doctor with a lot of physical pain, and they put that down to the mental illness. They thought it was psychosomatic and that the antidepressants would work. So I gave everything a go. I was told that 2 tablets could possibly change everything, you know, how down I was feeling, numb, upset, you know. My depression at that time took the form of just the depths of despair. It's since then it's taken many different forms, but that's what I knew depression as at the time. It changed then, as I said, later in life, but I'll chat about that in a wee while. So I got the help, the antidepressants worked, my thinking improved, my eating disorder and my body dysmorphia left. Just poof, gone. No idea how. I don't know if it was the chemical imbalance in my brain that the tablets, you know, level out. I have no idea, but whatever it was, it left, and I'm thankful for that. I know a lot of people that, you know, medication doesn't work. It goes a lot deeper than that for them. But for me it worked. So tablets, pills, meds are a very, very good thing for me. I think they're necessary for a lot of people, and they're not, you know, people shouldn't be judged on that. So I started on my meds. The pain persisted throughout the meds. Nothing changed, continuous. I was basically kept up all night with pains in my legs. It felt like growing pains as you were growing up. But, you know, at the age of 21 and you're still getting growing pains, you kind of begin to realise something's not right. So I went back to the doctors again, and I told them about the pain, and they did the tests. And basically, they found nothing, and so they left it at that. They never followed anything up. And that was left. However, the pain then got increasingly worse. And I went back, and again, we did the same dance. You know, no answers. And so they gave me painkillers on a short-term basis, and eventually the painkillers ran out. I went for a repeat prescription and they didn't want to give them. I went to see the doctor again, and I mean, I was in unbearable pain. It got to the stage where I was ignoring it for a long while because I was looking after my sister at the time. I became her guardian. I was finishing a full-time degree and working a full-time job to keep a roof over our heads. And the 2 weeks after my final exams, my whole body crashed. Everything. My mental health plummeted, and the pain became a lot worse. And since then, it's done nothing but increase. So basically from then, I, you know, kept my job off for as long as I possibly could, and then ended up having to go on sick. I was on sick for 2 weeks, and then I gave up my job. And then I thought, well, you know what? Because I seen other people with fibromyalgia working, I was like, there must be something wrong with me. You know, the doctors can't see anything wrong. You know, it must be me. It must be in my head. So I got another job, and I started it, and I lasted a month in unbearable pain every day, and I had plenty of sick days in there as well. And I ended up having to go off on the sick again, and that lasted for about 2 months. And then I finally accepted that there's no way that I could work in my current condition, and I gave up my job for good. Now, not for good, because I intend to work again, I do, but for the meantime, I decided to receive benefits, which was very, very hard for me to do. I'm a very proud person. Admitting that I can't do something is hard enough, and having to accept help is harder. So having to do this was very, very difficult. I was lucky to have my boyfriend at the time. He's very supportive of everything, and he could see what I was going through. And if it wasn't his wee voice in my head all the time, you know, reassuring me, I probably would have, you know, soldiered on and did myself even more damage than I should have. So I went to the doctors again, and the doctors that I got were very, well, obnoxious and arrogant, just to be honest, because as I say on Return of Reb, you know, bluntness and honesty is what it's all about. You know, you may as well be authentic. There's nobody like you, nobody has your opinion, so you may as well say them. And they made me feel awful. They made me feel like I was, looking for the medication for recreational purposes, or that I was lazy and just didn't want to work, or, a number of things went through my head, but it was an awful, awful dark time for me. Nothing seemed to work. They had put me on different medication because I brought up that I thought it might be fibromyalgia because my mum has it. And the doctor, one of the doctors suggested that it didn't even exist. That fibromyalgia wasn't properly proven. I think the millions in the world would probably disagree with him. But yeah, so that was not a great experience. And it gave me a fear of doctors. So I didn't go and see another doctor for about 6 months. I then moved after waiting on referrals for rheumatology to find out, what was properly wrong, because I hadn't received an official diagnosis yet. We knew I had depression, we knew I had anxiety, we knew I had IBS, but that was it. There was no other explanation, just my word, and that wasn't good enough for them. So I moved and I got a new doctor who believed me, and I can't tell you what that feels like once you've been through what I've been through. He trusted me. He put me on the full strength medication that I would have been eligible to. I am eligible to more since being to the pain clinic, but I don't want to go up to morphine because I think that's I don't want to go down that road yet. I want to try alternatives. But yeah, he trusted me with that and trusted in us trying to find a different solution. So I went to the pain clinic and he actually diagnosed me with fibromyalgia. He said, without a doubt, after doing the 12-year test, that yeah, that's what it is. Now I'm waiting on more referrals because I do think there's something else there. Some of the symptoms don't fit with fibro. So basically, on this channel, you will have a bit about chronic illness, a bit about mental illness, a bit about body positivity and my journey, because I'm only starting a new journey again. And eating disorder recovery, because to me they're the 4 things that I'm either struggling with or working on, or they're all part of me. And I feel that there's nothing more beneficial than people sharing their experiences with others, because it can make them feel not alone. It can make them feel accepted. Having someone to talk to about what you're going through is invaluable. Having someone that understands you after not having that for so long is invaluable. It was to me anyway. When I found this community, my life changed. It just opened up my eyes and made me feel so happy, and that I wasn't, everything wasn't in my head like a lot of people are made to believe by their doctor, and it's not fair. Like I was made to believe by my doctors that it was all in my head, that it was psychosomatic, that I was just looking for the painkillers, So it may seem a bit, all over the place with this, but I suppose that may be the way I am. I have these 4 things that affect my life, and so I want those 4 things to be what my channel is about. I want to give my hints and tips on dealing with my mental illness, dealing with my chronic illness and pain flares, talking about my recovery from an eating disorder, talking about my new body positivity journey since going from a size 4 up to a size 10 to 12 up to a size 14 to 16 now. At every size I feel like a new body positivity journey begins for me. So as I said, it may seem a bit all over the place, but every week I'll let you know on my Instagram what's going to be coming up this week, and if it suits what you'd like to find out about. If you have a chronic illness, if you're a spinny, I know a lot of spinnies do suffer from mental health issues as well, because as I said, I do, and I know many people that do. Those 2 things are all that really are the only things that you kind of really want to know about, then you don't have to tune in on the days that I am talking about body positivity or AD recovery. Simple as that. But basically here is another space for you to discuss underneath my videos what you think of them, what you think of the topics, debate the topics, and it's a safe space for you to discuss these. You know, I'll be keeping an eye on everything, and so there'll be no negativity allowed. So if that's, you know, your game here, you may as well walk on. So basically I wanted the first video to be about my history. So if anybody is in need of help with anything, you know, they know exactly the things that I suffer from or have been through, so, you know, they could think, oh, Reb might, you know something about that. That's why I wanted to give you the history. Also, I did that because if there's any fibro sufferers out there, any of those that have depression or anxiety, you can get, you know, you can request of me certain videos. You know, if you want me to discuss something in my video, just hit me up and ask, and, you know, I'll be honest if it's something that I can do or if I've experienced and I could talk about. I'm well open to suggestions. Secondly, the other little thing I wanted to say is that I got so many requests, and I don't know why, because I don't even think it's that good, for me to do makeup tutorials. So I'm in two minds. One of them is to do a live video once a week on Instagram, which, you know, is basically me doing my makeup. I'll accept suggestions beforehand of what people would like to see, and I'll do it, and it'll be live, and it'll be terrifying for me, but I'll do it anyway. And so that's number one. And number two would be me just doing a tutorial video and doing it every Monday. So we would have makeup Mondays on the channel. So basically I'm going to leave that up to you to decide which you would rather have, but you're going to have to decide before Saturday or Sunday, just so I have enough time, because, you know, as spoonies, our illnesses can be unreliable. Not us, our illnesses, and especially with the flu, you know, I've been up and down like a seesaw. So yeah, you let me know what you would rather have and I'll get it sorted. So thanks for watching this, if you have, and I'm sorry if it was a bit boring, but as I said, I wanted to kind of let you know what I'm about, what I've been through, and I've been through a wee bit more, obviously. Like, you can't fit everything into a video, and if there's anything that anybody wanted me to discuss that I left out, you know, I'll do it next time. You just let me know what it, you know, whatever it is. But I appreciate you watching. I hope it wasn't too boring, or too scary with this voice. So yeah, thanks, and I'll see you again soon.